Server 2019 System Administration. Welcome back everybody. I'm Prakash Pradhan, your trainer for this entire series. So in our previous video, we have gone through some basic settings or basic concept of deploying a group policy in our domain environment. Today we are going further into a deep level in order to understand how your actually group policy management works. You might be wondering, we are talking about the group policy in Server 2019, and I have brought an image over here showing so many tabs, water tabs. So let's understand this first, because we are still in topic. I have brought these images over here intentionally in order to make your concept clear how the group policy management works in your domain environment actually. So let's say over here we have 4 tabs. If a first tab is open and from there green color water is flowing, just take this example, and the second tab below that there is another tab. When you open the tab, it's flowing the blue color water. Then the third tab, you open that tab, red color, and the fourth one yellow. What if all of these tabs waters are open, okay, and you leave this tab keep on flowing the water? So when it goes or gathers somewhere in some other location, do you know how does it look like? It looks like this. That means your water will be filled with different colors. So the main purpose over here why I'm doing this is the group policy management is exactly, it works in the same order the way you have seen this right now. Let's see again. When your domain group policy flows from top to bottom, okay, if in a tab number 1 you take an instance as a one of the group policy, it goes to the second sub OU. In sub OU also there is any set of your group policy, and the third sub OU also is having a particular policy, and this is the fourth sub OU is also having the particular policy. Now the question rises over here, if 4 these OUs are there, okay, and the 4 different group policies are deployed, then which policy do you think client is going to obtain over here? In our case, in terms of your water flowing tab, it is something like this. It's mix up. Now today we are going to understand actually how does your group policy flows in your network environment. That is question number 1. Number 2, have you ever asked yourself that how often your group policy refresh interval takes place? Okay, actually the default refresh interval for your domain group policy is 5 minutes. Of course, when we are in hurry, we used to update ourselves by using a simple command GPO update force. But when we deploy actually a group policy, the default time set from the Windows Server operating system is around 5 minutes. If you are in hurry and saying that I do not want to wait for the 5 minutes my client to be deployed any kind of group policy, so I want to deploy immediately. It's a human nature, we can't wait. We are in hurry all the time. I don't know why. So in a group policy also, it's the same thing. I have seen many system administrators who often complain to me saying that, sir, I have deployed one group policy, but it took few minutes. Is there any way to, deploy that group policy immediately? My answer is simple. Obviously, hit the command GPO update force or restart your system, because when you restart the system, that policy will get deployed immediately. Okay, but default time is 5 minutes. What if you set the group policy refresh interval as a 0 minute? Even if you set a 0 minute interval time, it will take 7 seconds actually. I mean to say 0 second. If you set a time 0 second as a refresh interval, it will update only in 7 seconds. There is one reason why Microsoft has given this default time frame for the group policy refresh interval. The reason is network traffic. If in every then and now you update your group policy, then you think about the traffic. If you have got 100 workstation, 100 clients connected via simple same switch or maybe the router, any device that you are using, as soon as you update your group policy and you want your client to be, updated immediately, definitely there will be huge amount of network traffic. So you will have certain issues over there. So in order to reduce this kind of network, your speed issues, Microsoft has given default time over there. Even if you set for a 0 second refresh interval, 7 seconds. Okay, now we are going to see how does your group policy flows from top to bottom, and how am I going to prevent my group policy to be affected from the above group policy. Example, this. if you want this green water not to affect the area of this blue water, what do? You just make a fence over here saying that no, I don't want any of this green color water to come in my area, so I'm going to build a wall over here. Okay, so I'm going to block it. Similarly, in group policy also we are having this kind of features. So without wasting much time, so let's jump into the practical implementation, how your group policy management actually works. Okay, now in order to test the group policy, first you need to decide whom you are going to deploy the group policy. In my case, if I have to talk about my policy, see here, I have created two OUs. In OU1, there is a user called 1, there is a group also, printer and all, everything is there. If I talk about the group 2, okay, if I have to talk about the group 2 over here, that means OU2. In OU2 there is only one user, that is a named 2. So what am I going to do now? I am going to deploy a one group policy for the first time for your implementation in a OU called HR, where there is a user named 1. I am going to fix the wallpaper. That means via group policy, I am going to create such a policy that anyone who is a member of this group policy, HR, OU, will be infected or affected by that. But don't forget, I told you the water flows at the bottom level as well. That means if any policy is deployed at the root level, or root OU, that policy will affect or flow to the next sub OU also. First thing is that. And second one, I'll also show you how to prohibit any of the policies to reduce the effect, or you to deny any of the group policy that is flowing from the above group policy. So I repeat once again, I'm going to create one group policy to HR, and I'm going to show you practically the policy that is being affected or deployed in HR named one OU, that will definitely flow to the another OU that is a sub OU of this. That was the concept of flowing of water that I showed you. So in order to create the group policy, obviously we are not going to create a group policy from this OU. So for that we need to go to the group policy management. Okay, so I've opened the group policy management over here. If you are thinking how did I open, obviously because you all are learning this system administration, so by this time I believe everybody knows how to go over there. So we have two options, either you go to the via graphical or simply using the CY. Okay, that is your via command. So I'm going to use it over here. This is my one OU, so I've created one link also, and this is my another sub OU as per this. See here, this is the same exact see here. Did you notice here the first OU? Okay, the first OU is your HR and the second sub OU is your HR1. That means now I'm going to deploy a policy in HR. That means the user 1 and below this, whoever's are here, are going to be affected with this. So let's create one user as that, I mean to say group policy first. So I'm going to fix up one wallpaper so that next PC is also affected. Okay, so let's see the steps of creating a group policy. Now I would like to deploy this policy to my clients, that means my users. So I'm going to go to the desktop over here. That means remember there are two configurations, one is a computer configuration and second one is the user configuration. So right now I'm interested to deploy the wallpaper to the user, who he or she wherever goes and login. So go to the policies, Windows administrative tools, desktop, and desktop over here. So I would like to set the wallpaper, and I do not want my client to change any of their setting from the desktop. Okay, now desktop wallpaper, if I have to set the desktop wallpaper, I need to give the location. So in my case 192.168.1.100, there is a folder called desktop and there is a file called 1.jpg. So this file must have shared attribute first. That means you need to share one file along with the folder that you want to set as a wallpaper. Okay, apply. I repeat again, this file should be shared beforehand. So I'll show you where I have shared this one. In domain controller, in drive C, I have shared this folder. See here. Okay, let's open it. My C drive is over here. Where is that? Okay, here's that folder, and inside this there's a file. So if you wanted to make sure whether it's shared or not, so let's make it sure. 192.168.1.100 is the one IP. See, it's already listed over here. Here, this image. Okay, now let's see this image is going to be deployed in your group policy. That means every client's wallpaper is going to be the same. So it's now deployed, see here, and I would like to place this wallpaper in the center of your screen. Now I repeat again, since this policy is deployed to this HR named OU, and there is a sub OU also HR1, the policy flows from top to bottom. Don't forget that we do still have a default domain controllers policy, domain policy, which I'm not going to use it over here. Right now, I'm going to use my own policy that I've created just now. So I repeat again, the policy we deployed here will affect to the next area. That means the sub OU also, like a water flowing as showed in the first example. Now, let's see who are the member of this HR. 1. Definitely 2 also. So I'm going to log in via user called 2, and you see that the wallpaper is fixed and this user will not be able to change it, the wallpaper. So as I told you, it takes 5 minutes, so we both are in hurry. So I'm going to update this group policy, and in this client PC also I'm going to run the same command. Okay, so let it run first in the domain controllers, and don't worry, I'm going to show you the place from where you can change the default refresh interval of your Windows Server group policy. Okay, so now we'll go to the client machine, that is here. Okay, that is here. Now I'm going to log in via my user 2. Don't forget, this user is in a sub OU, and I told you this user is also going to be affected. Okay, now GPO update force, I want this to be also updated because only the domain was updated. Actually this PC is supposed to be restarted, so rather than doing the restart, I am going to update, and as soon as I try to change the wallpaper, you see the wallpaper that was being deployed from the server level will get displayed automatically. So let's try to put this one as a wallpaper. Okay, see, I put this wallpaper, but it's coming this. Why? That means from domain controller, the group policy is being deployed so that the sub OU, okay, sub group policy is also affected. So congratulations, successfully done. Now the next question, what if? Okay, there is always if. What if you ask me, I want to see the practical implementation of block inheritance, because this OU is inherited from here, from this main primary OU. Policy is inherited up to sub OU. That's why this user call 2 is being affected by the wallpaper fixing from the domain controller. What if I do this block inheritance? Guess what's going to happen now? Yes, I guess your answer is right. What? The group policy that is being flowed from top to bottom will be blocked here. That means inheritance is blocked. If the inheritance is blocked, now the user, whoever are in this OU or in this group policy, will not be affected. Okay, so let's try that. We'll just use the same account. I'll just log in. Okay, user 2 only, I'm going to use it in the same PC. If you try right now to change the wallpaper, see, it will not allow. Now since I have blocked, so I'm gonna update this group policy, and as well as in the domain controller also I'm going to update the policy. You might be wondering in my wallpaper why printer server is there, because that was the video I showed you last time and I didn't get time to change as well, because I'm making every time video for you all guys. So let's see now if this policy is also updated. It takes time. And after this, I'm going to show you, okay, the place from where this group policy refresh interval I mean to say, can be changed. So let's go to the client PC. Okay, now I'm going to change it. Right click, wallpaper. Congratulations, successfully done. Why? Because I have blocked the group policy inheritance. See here, this exclamation. That means the one who is a member of this HROU will affect by the wallpaper fix group policy, obviously. Now let's see who is there inside this HR. Inside this HR, there is a user called 1. Now let's log in any client machine. That means I'm going to log in here only, and using the account 1, who is the member of your root OU. Okay. Now let's log off here. Okay, come on, it's taking time. I heard something else, I guess. So close all the tab. Close it. Now I'm gonna log off. Okay, now I'm gonna log in as a user who is the member of HR. Okay, I hope it works faster here, because sometimes, you know, PC itself is slow. Okay, now let's log in via user or the user 1. Okay, that is my next client, and you have already learned how to join any client into your domain in our second video, I guess, so far I remember. So now if you see over here, the policy will not be affected to this user. Why? The inheritance is blocked at the second level. From the top, the group policy is inherited to this user, that is a 1. Okay, so bear with me for a few seconds before it gets loaded. Then you see that over here the wallpaper cannot be changed. So that is the normal way of inheriting your group policy. Now see here, group policy is inherited here. If I wanted to change it over here, right click and set this one as a wallpaper, then it's not allowed, you see. That means I would like to congratulate you all that you witness how the group policy inheritance takes place. Now the next point. Next point is you wanted to know the area or the place from where we can change the group policy refresh interval. Okay, now in order to see that, anyway I'm gonna remove it. Okay, now if you wanted to see the place from where the group policy interval is set, so in that case you edit it, any group policy. Okay, that might be done from the domain level. Go to the computer, administrative template. I might be doing faster, but please do note it down. Okay, or if you forget this, you can use this video 2 or 3 times to see. Then go to the system. Here you find the group policy. In the group policy, obviously I'm going to expand a further bit. Let's search, where is that? Where is, keep on searching, group policy refresh interval for domain controller. Yeah, over here. Double click. See here, it's saying over here the policy setting specifies how often group policy is updated on domain controller while they are running. I suggest you do not update any of the group policy while your clients are working. Okay, so if you have to set any, or if you have to deploy any kind of your group policy, that is before the staff start their work or after the office. And I hope everyone understand the system admin work means before and after, and in between we hardly had a work. Okay, so now that's a bit of fact. So that's why I have I get often complaint from some of my students who are working as a system admin somewhere in any corner of the world. They often say, sir, sometimes I feel like this job is the worst in the world. Why? When the staff start going home, then I have to start my work. This is the kind of work, okay, because the show must go on. If the system administrators do not perform their work, trust me, all the clients are going to be affected. So someone has to work. Okay, so now over here, if you notice 45 days, it's saying if you enable this setting, you can specify an update rate from 0 to this much minute. That means 45 days pending. Okay, now this was also brought into no notice. I told you last time, if you select even 0 minutes, sorry, I said that was 0 minute, that means it will go as a second only. So if I said 0 minute, that means it's a 0 second. The domain controller tries to update group policy in every second, 7 seconds. No matter if you give 0 minutes, that means equivalent to the 0 second. So in spite of giving the 0 second also, the group policy interval refresh time will be chosen by the operating system 7 seconds because of the network traffic. Okay, so there is option if you wanted to use this, but I suggest you not to do this. Okay, leave it as it is. I've seen the people increasing a time rather than reducing the time period. Okay, so now I hope the process that we were trying to discuss today for the group policy management or the group policy flow, that was bit explanatory, and you understood clearly the concept of group policy inheritance over here. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and if you find it suitable, if it helps you to deploy the group policy in a proper inheritance manner, so please do like and subscribe. Thank you.